How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the Gear Vault. I'm Wes, and today in the vault we have a public service announcement about some hunting ammo. Now, despite what people might think, I actually don't enjoy doing these videos. What I like is being critical of hunting accessories and things to do with being in the outdoors, because stuff is so darn expensive these days that it's just not fair to the people that actually have to work for a living, and they save up 3-4 paychecks to go buy this one particular piece of gear just to find out that it wasn't exactly what they needed. So I'm here for those people, for you if you're watching. If I have a good experience with something, I'm going to tell you. And if I have a bad experience with something, I'm going to tell you, regardless of the brand or how good of friends I am with the people that make it. That doesn't matter to me. I'm just going to be honest. So today, what we are talking about is the Hornady Custom Light loaded with the SSTs. Now, Custom Light being it's a little bit milder recoil, lower velocity, typically a smaller bullet they're putting in there. And the whole purpose is reduced recoil. Now, that in itself, I think, is an awesome idea. I mean, to be honest, these things are kind of fun to shoot. Like there really is no recoil. This is in a 7mm 08, by the way. It's the 120 grain SST or Super Shock tip. If you're not familiar with that, it's kind of the equivalent of like a ballistic tip or something like that. So kind of I don't want to use the word frangible, but they're just not known to be super tough. They're meant to dump a lot of energy pretty darn quick. So this is actually the ammo that my wife shoots, not necessarily because she needs the reduced recoil, but her Tikka T3 just actually really likes this stuff. And you got to shoot what shoots well, right? Most of the time. So first off, I do want to say that every deer she's ever shot with this stuff has been dead. Basically all of them have been one shot, either drop right there or run 5 feet and fall over. So the results have been, the end results have been desirable, I guess. What I've seen though recently is some stuff that kind of makes me just curious and just question it a little bit. This will not be a video where I tell you to not use this stuff. That's not what I'm doing. I'm just saying, if you find yourself in this particular situation that we're going to talk about, maybe at least question it, maybe do some testing, maybe think twice, I guess is all I'm saying. So in the last few years, we moved to North Dakota. Last year, my wife was hunting in Minnesota because Minnesota is pretty friendly to non-resident hunters. It's not a huge amount of money to go get an over-the-counter deer tag over there. My parents live over there. They've got some land, so it just makes sense that we deer hunt over there. North Dakota is actually a draw for firearm, the whole state. Over-the-counter bow tag, but to hunt whitetail or mule deer in North Dakota with a firearm, you have to draw a tag, which is kind of weird. So we just buy the over-the-counter Minnesota tag and go with it. What happened this particular hunt was my wife shot a buck at about 100 yards, and the shot she made on it was less than ideal. That one, her fault 100%. But what the buck did was run kind of a semicircle that led him to 30 yards away from us, right? So she gets the gun on him at 30 yards away, pulls the trigger, and I expected full on just flop dead, right? Well, that's not exactly what happened. The buck ran probably 40 yards, which again, whatever. We knew he fell, we knew he was dead. There was plenty of blood, dead deer, and again, there's gonna be people in the comment section say, well, the buck died, why are you so concerned with it? And the reason being is because what we found whenever we skinned this deer out is that this SST bullet, being at quite a bit more velocity at 30 yards than it would have been at 100, basically just exploded. And I've talked about this with some other bullets in some previous videos, and it's something that is honestly, in my opinion, starting to become a problem in the hunting industry with people making these bullets that are designed for longer ranges or even just 100 yards and out. They work great for that, but there's so many people that hunt deer that are shooting them at 20, 30, 40 yards with a rifle. I mean, especially like where I'm from in Kentucky, a lot of people hunt from tree stands, and they're hunting in the same stand that they bow hunt in. They're on those trails where the deer are gonna be 30 yards away. I don't want a bullet that's just gonna explode whenever it hits. And that's exactly what this one did. She hit it perfectly. And luckily a piece of fragment went to the right spot and the deer ended up dying. But most of the damage and everything was essentially between the muscle and the skin. It was like it went through the skin and then just blew up, right? And that's not what you want to see. That's not what I want to see, at least. So just something I want to say, you know, this stuff, it's not that fast by any means, 26.75 at the muzzle. So it was probably going 26, 25.50 when it hit the deer. That was enough to make that bullet completely explode. No bone, you know, no sticks, just a clear shot, perfectly broadside, would have been, you know, a vitals shot, and the bullet completely disintegrated before it even got into the cavity. And again, luckily a fragment hit something it needed to, but I just want everyone to keep in mind whenever you're looking at these precision hunter type bullets, ballistic tips, SSTs, the bullets that are designed to dump a ton of energy super quick, or the bullets that are designed to be able to expand and do their damage at 1,000 yards. Like those types of bullets don't always equate to good at 25 yards. And there may be people watching this that are like, I will never shoot at 25 yards. And that's great. If that's not you, then whatever, you know, it's not, this video isn't for you. But I know for a fact there's plenty of people out there that shoot a lot of deer under 100 yards. And my only recommendation is that if you're gonna consistently shoot at that distance or in, and if the majority of the animals you shoot are sub 200 yards, there's plenty of options out there that are a safer option. You know, your all copper, your bonded bullets, stuff like that will hold together better and drive forward better at those close distances whenever they're hitting at a higher velocity. So again, guys, I don't necessarily like being negative. I just like being critical. I like telling you my experiences, and in this case, my wife's experience, because I've witnessed it firsthand. Just keep in mind these things whenever you're hunting. Not everything is going to be the perfect for this scenario or that scenario. Everything's going to be different. Everyone's hunting in different areas and under different circumstances. Make sure that you're using the bullet or the kit or the accessory that's right for you, not necessarily what you've been told at the store or by some influencer is right for you. You know, do your own testing, think it out yourself, what's gonna work best for you. So let me know in the comment section below, have you used the SST bullets before? What's been your experience? Have you shot them at 25, 30 yards? Have you shot stuff at 1,000? I'd be curious to see if other people have had this similar experience. Let me know in the comment section. Again, subscribe if you haven't already. I'm gonna be trying to put out a lot more bullet testing videos this summer. And hopefully through that, you know, I'll be able to maybe back up my experiences, or maybe just prove that my experience was the exception and not the rule, and that would be great, honestly. But until then, this is what I've experienced with this bullet. Till next time, y'all be safe.